All right, everyone, we are here with two very special guests. We are joined by Austen Kroll and Craig Conover from Southern Charm. Thank you guys for joining us.
Hey guys.
Craig. You know, always fun with these two coming in, you know, acting like not a care in the world, da-da-da, happy to be here.
We're basically all best friends now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Except I owe Marty a FaceTime. Actually, I did call him back.
When he texted you about the barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
He was
Did
like...
you see him when you walked in? He was in that first room, podcasting. He was.
Craig's, we
Austin
established,
paid attention.
established Craig's
thank
little
you for
attitude.
noticing.
Yes, of course. I looked right at Marty.
Austin
I waved. To him.
He
He's
went,
like, "What's up,
Marty,"
dude?"
and he
Yeah,
waved.
yeah, very
I'll
nice.
see him when I leave.
Yeah,
Craig just
maybe.
cruised on through.
Craig was
was
like, I
trying
don't-
to act like he was sitting out there for 20 minutes and that y'all didn't collect him.
Craig just wasn't answering our texts. Like, you know, he has specific times on when he needs to leave, but yet doesn't show up on the time he's supposed to be here. So, you know, it's just hard. It's hard.
I had a
Craig.
weird morning.
You just did like 3 shows in a row pretty quick. Do you normally do them all that close together?
I mean, the shows are awesome. So in New York for the first time, I don't know if y'all do this, but we did a back-to-back show. So one at 4 o'clock and one at 8 o'clock. We've never done that before.
No, we do.
We don't do
We
that.
can never.
And so when I finished that,
We
I was just
aspire
like,
to be like you.
not an
guys.
option.
Oh, well, guys,
You guys
it wasn't an
you would
option
kill
for
it.
us. Yeah. And it was so fun and so cool to go to all these cities and to see it say even sold out and stuff underneath like our podcast. You're like, look at what we've done, man. This is awesome.
Philly, Boston, New York is how you guys just
Yeah.
did? Would you like
We
the
love your
best?
Philly people though.
Were the Philly squad fun?
The Philly squad is rowdy.
Yeah.
They just eat it up.
Except
Yeah.
you guys lost me a lot of money last night.
That's on you. I would have told you not to do that.
I know every Eagles fan was probably
I
like,
almost
that is-
wore.
screw our team.
Yeah.
I-
Maybe if
my-
you answered Marty's text, he could have advised you.
My friends
did
on
think-
Sunday were like, "Friend, I love you so much, but I put money on the Bucks." I was like, "As would I." Like, it's fair.
No, I FaceTimed him and he was at the Kentucky game.
Oh,
So we're
yeah.
back to even.
Well, that was like I was watching an episode of Southern Charm, and you were putting barbecue sauce on something,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh my god!" Like jumping up and down on the couch. He was like, "Yes, I knew I liked him. Like he loves barbecue sauce." And then
That was the
he
kicker.
texted Craig, and he was like, "Man, like I love how much you love barbecue sauce." Like he just was really excited.
Did you
that,
say that you loved
No, it was
barbecue sauce?
It was
Craig,
on
or
the
you
show.
just-
You
No,
were
no.
talking about it too, Austin. Like you were like, Craig loves barbecue sauce, and it was like a segment of the show.
And then
so
I
he was
just
so
thought-
excited.
Marty's like, walking around the room. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's
yo,
like,
that's
pumped
my
up. He's like,
guy.
yes.
That's my guy. He likes
Hollering
barbecue
at the
sauce.
TV.
I overthought it, so I just didn't text him back. And then Rhea was like, "Hey," and I texted it.
We were talking about something else, and
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
texted
by the
back to
way,
Rhea.
it was fucked up.
But we're back to
I
normal.
almost
Yeah.
wore a Jalen Hurts jersey to the Barstool show.
To the Philly show?
To the Philly show. I ended up wearing
Bama.
a
Did you
hat.
have a Bama
right,
one?
yes,
Yeah.
a Bama, connection.
Uh-huh.
And Philly fans were like, if he wins, and he's our guy. And if he
Yeah.
loses, get him out of town. And that's Philly
Yeah,
fans.
no, that's yeah.
And then Jason Kelsey retires
Yeah,
today.
yeah. We can talk about this after.
Okay.
So we have more important things to talk about with you guys on air.
Are you
Yes.
excited about Charleston, or we haven't announced it yet?
Oh, we could tease it.
Yeah.
I mean, because you guys are here, so I guess it's better to just say that
mean-
we are
Big
doing
announcement.
we are doing a show
Da-da-da-da.
in Charleston with Austin and Craig as our special guests.
Yeah, March 1st.
March 1st in Charleston. Tickets are not on sale yet, but that'll be a big show.
will
It's
be
going to be a
soon.
fun show, and it's going to come up soon. I'm really excited.
You guys
pumped.
kill it on tour, by the way. Like, you guys are
They're
killing
fun
it on tour.
too.
We-
They're
Thank
fun
you.
shows.
We do have a lot of fun.
We do have a lot of fun with them.
Y'all's fans
we
are
just
rabid.
did.
Yeah.
They're great. We just did. We just did your
Rabid.
show, your podcast, and we were talking about. I'm forgetting what I wanted to say now. Of a tease. Was it about the live shows?
It was about the live show.
Yeah. Oh, that's why. Because I was going to say we said it on your show.
Yeah, we did, but it didn't
But-
come out yet. Right? That episode? Are you guys
It aired.
here?
No. The episode
Sorry,
aired.
we're just like,
But we didn't play like a clip of.
yeah, we
you
didn't
know,
push
you
it
guys
too hard.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
you know,
we didn't
y'all
want,
said that
we
you
didn't want to
Okay.
step on your toes.
Yeah, y'all
I
said that you
didn't
hadn't
know that
announced
the
it yet. So
episode
like,
came out
so, like
of your
it's
show.
in the episode. It just didn't get played as like a
I gotcha.
specific clip of being like,
I gotcha,
girls are
I
coming to
gotcha,
town.
gotcha.
Our
guys
team
post
was
on
looking like,
Instagram
or
when
do you guys
you-
promote the show? Like there are like blank faces around the room. Like, do you guys not promote your podcast?
It was a busy. I mean, We were.
You guys
the
were
last
busy.
week
That is,
was
you know,
crazy.
That's fair.
Because
Crazy
we
busy
get
week.
so nervous before our shows. Like we've
Yeah,
thrown
man.
Yeah,
up before.
honestly, I feel you.
Yeah, dude. Craig
kinda the same
last
way.
year threw up before the Philly show.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Like as we were walking on.
The episode came out on Friday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to go listen, we were on your
Friday.
podcast.
Or no,
Thursday.
Oh,
January
you mean why
9th.
haven't you seen
Yeah,
it on our Instagram?
on Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
like
yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't even post a story, like new episode up with
it's
Chicks
because
in the
we've been
Office.
completely.
Yeah,
MIA.
man.
it's on here
Sometimes I do,
twice.
and sometimes I don't.
Oh,
I
there's
need to
two
do-
parts. That's why.
I need yes.
You guys got a
we
two-parter.
turned it into
Oh,
a two-parter
cool.
because we were so busy.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
Yes, we can get a two-parter.
How
out of this,
exciting.
'cause
We
we
were
all
so
just-
long, we got a
turned it
two-part
into a two-parter
episode.
because it was so awesome. They did a great
Also,
job.
That's
last night you guys were
Goes
we were
without
texting about coming in today, and you guys were like, "Where were you at our show?" We were like, we didn't fucking know.
our communication's been off, basically.
I thought
It's
that
like a
we
one
told
si-
you
it-
guys.
sometimes it feels a little
I will
one-sided.
say though, we have been pretty good at
Until they-
getting you
until they
guys-
wanna,
like,
you know.
We did your show. You guys are here.
Yeah.
You guys made time to come here because you know you're on your own here right now. So it's
Yeah.
like we're making time for each other.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes,
we are.
we're making time for each
You
other.
know, we're making
I do
time for
feel
each
bad
other.
about that. I totally thought that we told you, but then some fans in line were like, "What? Where are the girls?" And I was like,
Yeah, they want-
Where
they were,
are the
like,
girls?
very
Like, why?
obsessed
I was
with
like,
You're like, oh, fuck,
why?
we didn't
I was
invite
like,
them.
fuck.
Look at check's phone. Forgot to send that text.
Man.
Well, weirdly, in the
Would've been
times
nice.
of
We could've-
social
we
media,
could've
you
said
think
hi to
everyone sees
Andy
everything.
again.
Which show would you have come to? Would you have come to the 4 o'clock show or the 8 o'clock show? See, I don't know if we would have told you that Andy was coming because we
Yeah.
kind of kept it
I
very,
would have told that.
very,
Right.
very tight-lipped.
I probably would have preferred the 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The 8 o'clock show was great. I mean, so was the 4
Maybe
o'clock, but
both.
8 o'clock was
You know,
Just stay all day.
I
all
would have
day.
stayed all day.
Could've
I
stayed all
wasn't
day
doing
That's
long.
much.
what we did.
Yeah.
Stay there all day.
Exactly. But anyways, you guys are here. You were Southern Charm. The whole season's almost over. We have part 2 of the reunion. Will be out Thursday night. But we all watched part 1. We loved it. Rhea gave it an A.
Yeah, that's
on
awesome.
her on her
Wow.
weekly watch report. We know you guys see those things. And she's been locked into this season. We've been locked in. You got into it. Obviously, you were center of attention as always. And between the stuff with Taylor and Olivia and the fighting, there's also this added element now with JT, who's a new cast member who you got into a little physical altercation with
Yep.
at the end. And I think you said like, I've been doing how many years I've been doing this, like haven't touched anybody like until now, and
Right.
then this happened. So what do you think happened with JT?
Oh, geez, guys. I mean, yes. Okay, so first off,
So
would you
JT.
believe me if I said that this year was supposed to go in a very different manner? Like it was supposed to be just like a year of, growth and like focusing on me and
Yeah.
and-
Like kind of
and
the year
things like
Craig
that.
had?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you were
dude.
supposed to have Craig's season,
Craig
where
was-
Craig is the king of Bravo now.
Yeah.
Craig's
the
was-
voice
Craig
of
can
reason.
do no wrong in
Craig
anybody's eyes
is-
at this
Do not
moment.
jinx this.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Craig's
Bravo
level-
world goes like
because
this real
you know,
quick.
that's every world. It goes up,
Yeah.
it goes down. People
Craig-
love you, they don't like you.
Craig was mailing it in. He was mailing it in, and it was working.
Yeah.
And I was trying to have something like that, but yes, obviously,
Then you decided
a
to
whole
kiss
bunch
Taylor.
of controversy
Yes.
happens and comes up, and I didn't know at the beginning of the season. Like I thought that the new guys were kind of going to come in, and we knew them, and they were slowly going to. And then I guess it hit me in Jamaica that one cast member in particular was just like hyper focused on me, and I didn't even realize until we got to Jamaica, and especially in the finale. I mean, he was looking to fight me. Like
Yeah.
he was looking for something to happen, and
You got up on
I
that
am
post.
very upset at myself, right? Because I was like, oh, this is exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
And he whispered to me, man, under his breath, he was like, I win. And it was like,
You didn't punch him though.
no, I did not. And
so-
Whitney was like,
Yeah.
punch him, punch him in the face, punch him, And of course,
Craig's
a
like,
bunch
"That's
of
a
people,
win. He just got a
have
little
said
shove."
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's a
shove.
Yeah,
and then I
sure.
was like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Like I'm so mad at myself.
No one can get in trouble
for doing
like,
that.
a shove. I feel like if you
Sometimes
would've
people
clocked him-
deserve like a good shove. Like really, it needs to be really deserved. Like I'm not condoning fighting.
If
just for
someone
no
was in my
reason.
face,
like,
they would get pushed
I
really quick.
yeah, I hate when people just like fight for no reason. But if somebody like really like say somebody came up to
He
you and
wanted
said
you to do
something
that.
about Paige or whatever, you
100%.
would shove them.
And-
like that's
and
know.
and
Just
on
be
the
like, "Get away
reunion,
from me."
he was like, I was just minding, my own business, and like you came and got in my face. I was like, you were on top of a chair, nose to nose. Like
Yeah.
you were trying your hardest to. And I guess, the thing that kind of bothers me about that is that, I mean, we hadn't established any sort of friendship or anything like that at this point. So it was like, stop, poking the bear, like stop it. And, it would have been different if Shep or Craig, were doing that, but it was like someone that like, I don't really know that well. And so I just, walked off and you caught all that, fourth wall stuff where I was just like, I have never done this before, even though that Craig and I have certainly fucking wrestled before on our
that's
show.
different.
But it's different. Yeah. And so
now Austen, I don't condone all of your behavior.
Yeah.
Of course.
No.
But I really do not like JT's whole nice guy act. I don't believe it. I don't like it.
I'm
really
with you on
makes
that.
me
Yeah.
uncomfortable watching it a lot of times. I think if you have to repeatedly be like, I'm a nice guy, like you are probably, you've done some things before. And so you can't, like he tries to act perfect and he's
that's
not.
because y'all are smart.
And he was really grinding my gears during the reunion because it was his first reunion and he's just like, Craig's texting on his phone right now.
You know what?
Just
I just
listening.
moved my people so I can stay.
He's good.
oh, thank you.
So I don't have to leave now.
Oh, thank you. Right off the bat for the first reunion, he was just like chirping immediately, like almost not even letting Andy speak. And I thought that was annoying. So in that moment during the reunion, were you kind of just telling yourself like, all right, I got to keep my cool, or, did it get to a boiling point?
I mean, going into it, I don't know why I always have this thought process kind of as you saw me say to my sister too. And I was like, okay, we're going to the finale, or we're going to the party. And you know what, man, maybe there's like some kind of world where Olivia's going to be like, hey, sorry for yelling at you, right? And people were like, why did you think that she was going to apologize to you?
Yeah.
And that's because, of a lot of things. But for this, I was like, well, let's see kind of how it goes. And then when that happened, I was like, Austen, no matter what, do not give him what he wants. And that is just like a strong, response and yelling back at him. And I'm like, you are going to sit here like you know who you are. This kid clearly does not know who he is. And it's a projection on, his own self, not on me. And that's what I kept on telling myself. I was like,
Yeah, it definitely was. And I think, new people want to make a name for themselves, and they do that by going after people that have been on the show for a while. So clearly I feel like that was also a tactic. But I mean, look, you were the topic of conversation for pretty much the whole season. And now I feel like because maybe there was hiding it at first, and then you guys claimed, both you and Taylor, like that it was just a kiss. Mm-hmm. And it was nothing more. And nobody believed you for the entire rest of the season.
Yeah.
I don't think Craig believed you. I don't think Olivia believed you. I don't think anybody.
You believe me now, though,
I don't
Craig?
think anybody believed you. That's
Do
a
you
good
believe me
question.
now?
Do you believe him?
This is a good question.
What, that you guys didn't
That
have
they
sex?
only
Yes.
that they only kissed.
Well, you know my theory. I said it at the reunion. I think it happened more than once, but I don't think you had sex.
So you think a kiss happened more than
I think
once?
that this was probably like a week-long dalliance.
It's
And like, is that the-
it's like was
But see,
a
that's what I'm
week-long
saying.
dalliance.
I will
Somebody,
say
like-
this though, like from experience,
yeah.
like if you kiss, there's a good chance you're going back for more.
Yeah. Well,
Just
look,
saying.
well, that's probably why they had
Yeah.
such a hard time explaining it.
that night, like it all could have happened, probably. And, we both had, or me, I'm just gonna talk about me. Like I had, the mental fortitude to be like, we should put like a pin in this and like think about this.
Circle
And
back.
yes. Like we should, let's not be like impulsive here because there are a lot of people's feelings on the line. So I really was trying to be like, cognizant of, other people who I might have to have a very tough convo with, which I would have had we decided like, let's give this a go. Like then it would have been like, all right, hey, Shet, man, I got to take you to lunch or something.
Right.
But since that didn't happen, I guess I made the dumb, move of being like, what mama don't know, don't hurt her. Let's just not.
Yeah,
And
that
it obviously
that never
bit
works.
me in the ass. Yeah, of course.
That never works. And I do want to go back to what you were saying that you thought Olivia was gonna apologize to you. Why would you
Yeah.
ever think
Yeah.
that?
Why?
Yeah,
what did she have to apologize to you for, really?
I will tell you because It was just like a back and forth, right? So when we would get on camera, I'm just going to say that, when we would get on camera, it was like, she would chirp at me. And then when we were off camera, and Craig, was even there one time, we were driving back from the mountains, and she just kind of said something to me, and I was like, geez, but she called me and she was like, hey, she acted like it was all fine. And then, later on we were talking about, the freaking Oscars and this and that, and everything's fine. And the same thing happened when we left, Jamaica. She was like, you're a piece of shit. And then when we got back, she calls me and she's like, let's go for like a walk on the beach.
So you thought you were
and I
getting
literally
two
was like,
different
we
Olivias.
shouldn't go for a walk on the beach because, there aren't cameras there. And I was trying to be like a good boy. And it's like, okay, we'll talk at the finale. And I literally thought that she was going to be like, hey, I'm sorry that I've just been going through like emotions and I do want to be friends with you. And something like that, not like apologizing for all sorts of things, but just being like, you piss me off sometimes and I'm sorry, but I'm going through a lot of shit right now, which she was. And so I thought that that's what was going to happen and it didn't.
So where do you and Olivia stand currently?
Well, we went on a vacation together to the Bahamas because our mutual friends, which Craig was also.
I was going to say, Craig,
Craig
were you
was
there?
also supposed to be there.
Oh.
So we were, me and Paige were in Florida. I was doing this like charity thing, and I was supposed to meet Austen and Olivia and their guest in the Bahamas, but we got held up.
Yeah, and so at BravoCon even, I talked to Olivia because it was like the weekend prior to us going to the Bahamas, and I was like, hey, here's what I think that we should do. I think that you should bring the guy that you're seeing, and I should bring the girl that I'm seeing, and let's just, move on as like adults here. And she was like, that's great. That sounds like a great idea and great. And so we had a wonderful vacation. And then at the reunion.
So you went on a couples
But-
trip?
There was like, 8 to 10 of us on
Okay.
this
So there's
trip.
more
Oh, it was
people.
just like 4.
It wasn't
no,
just like
no.
you and the girl you were
No,
seeing
no,
and
no,
Olivia
no,
and the
no, no.
guys.
We have
There was
great
like,
friends.
10 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
but
they
the
have
new
a big,
people you
beautiful
were
home in the Bahamas.
But the
and they're
new
like, we
people
want-
you were seeing were with you guys.
Well, they
Yes.
flew together on the
Okay.
same plane.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You
And-
guys are
and-
weird.
You guys are. I was just gonna say, you guys ever think like
God.
maybe you don't need to be doing that
Guys,
with your exes?
I could not agree more.
Yeah.
Because the way that Olivia met the couple is because I brought her with me on one of these trips, and now they keep on inviting her, and she keeps on saying yes.
Gotcha.
So what am I supposed to do?
Right.
You
That
know?
is tricky.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
are you gonna back out? And she's like, I'm not backing out.
Yeah, she's like,
It's
I'm going to the fucking sick house in
yeah.
Bahamas,
So
sorry.
I try to make
Okay,
the
I
best of it.
got
And
it.
I'm
Guys,
Yeah.
these
Okay.
phone calls, imagine the phone
Yeah,
calls that we
gotcha.
have
Yeah,
when
so
this is
that's
gotcha.
going on.
Yeah.
It's like,
Craig gets right
Yeah.
from me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, am I going crazy? And
Yeah.
Craig's like, I don't know how you get yourself in this shit.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is what happens. So I'm like,
But it was a
okay.
good trip.
Yes,
they had a
And then-
blast. I mean,
Yeah.
I think all 4 people like really like Olivia became friends with the person you brought, and you became friends with the person that
Yes.
she brought.
Yeah.
I played, and I told her, and I was like, I hope that you know that I would never make this guy feel weird or like uncomfortable in any way. And we played golf together, and we were getting drunk, and like he was freaking hugging me, being like, "You're a great guy, man. You're a great guy." And I was like, I bet Olivia loves this. So then we fast forward to the reunion. And things are obviously, we're bringing up things that happened a long time ago. So I know that there is a part of it where she's like, I'm doing, my job and I'm saying my truth, but like it confused me a bit. Cause I was like, fuck, I thought that we were in a good place. But then again, she does have to, say the things that pissed her off. So
At the finale or the reunion?
sorry,
Right, because-
at the reunion.
Oh, yeah.
And so we haven't spoken since then. She texted me and I didn't respond. I think it's good at the moment to just have like a healthy little break here.
Right. That makes sense.
It's some life you guys live over there,
It's just it's an incestuous city, and we say it a lot, but even people that come and move, like their first month there, they'll like come by the store and tell me and be like, "How do you guys date here?" Like it's a
Right.
very strange
Yeah.
scene.
Because I think it was Paige was like, I break up with an ex, I never see him again ever for the rest of my life. Like,
Well, yeah.
And like that
that's-
first year in Charleston, she had to be around a
Everybody.
lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what Craig has told me, right? He's like, look, you shouldn't be talking to your, but Olivia has the opposite kind of thing where she's like, I'm friends with all my exes. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be the one, that she's not friends with. So then I
Right.
kept on trying. And even if she was
Right.
like, you suck, I'd be like, okay, I do suck, but can we be,
Yeah.
And so I kept on trying, and Craig was like, when are you going to learn that you shouldn't be friends with your exes? And so I'll never shut that door.
It was more that it's not like
Olivia
a
to be friends.
choice. It's just not feasible.
Yeah,
Well, it's not.
It's like
it's not healthy. I mean,
Yeah,
guys.
well, you film a show together, so like there's a way to be cordial, but not, go on vacation together.
Right.
Or,
Well,
like when
you
you're
guys
not
are in the Bahamas.
recording the show.
Yeah.
but that was all.
The Bahamas was great.
Yeah.
The first time we left the country was like the first time we were in another environment that didn't look like the South, really. On
Jamaica?
a cast trip.
Yeah, you're talking about Jamaica.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so with Taylor, though, because I don't know if Taylor just really has never done anything wrong, like in her life. And this was like the first big bad thing that she couldn't handle, that people were upset with her. Because it felt like at a certain point halfway through the season, it was like, okay, you gotta back off, Olivia. Like this is, because that fight in Jamaica, like with Taylor kind of standing and being like, I've done everything. Like, why? She just is begging to be forgiven, and it's like she can't force anybody to forgive her. How did you try and like maintain? Did you try and maintain a friendship with Taylor while all this was going on? Like, because it was a lot of drama.
Yeah. So Taylor and I certainly were. Our friendship had changed, obviously. Like, we couldn't be the same friends that we were prior, right? Which was like, going to lunch. Yeah. Well, post it coming out to the group, right? And I was like, okay, well, now, we can't get lunch, and you can't come over and get, freaking IVs at my house anymore. It's like inappropriate for us to be.
I'm just listening.
Craig, dude, don't you realize why you are a meme every time that I get shit on? Craig's like loves it. He loves it.
Well, okay, can I tell you why I just laughed?
Okay, go.
Because you said we weren't the same, not post kiss, but post everyone finding out.
Yeah.
That's why I laughed.
Okay.
Because that's been a big.
know what?
Because
I
they
picked up on that,
they
too.
shared a secret that nobody else knew about,
Right,
so it was
right,
fine.
right.
They could act like everything was fine
And
until everybody found out.
That's the only reason I laughed.
Yep.
Thank you, Craig.
Yep.
Sorry.
Another meme.
No, he's
Fran
right.
and
Another
Rhea are
meme.
having a blast.
Yeah,
because, like,
I am.
Another
I
meme
have
to
a
be able to
view of
ask.
just like listening to you, and then I just
And
see
then you have Craig in the
corner,
background,
like,
and I keep on catching
Well,
I
this
know,
is
Rhea's
I know.
eyes as
I
she's
don't
catching
mean to
Craig.
like
Your
look over
guest.
I
and
know.
laugh. He's
Well, because I'm a
Emotional
I
support
told
person.
Austin, we gotta put you in the hot seat a little
Yeah,
bit.
well,
And Rhea's never watched before, so now like, she's usually just been sitting.
I know. I usually like the fact that I now know what you've done.
what you've done.
What you've done.
Okay. So
I've watched your actions.
so back
so
to
you
it.
had to change everybody finds out. You have to like back off a little bit.
Yeah, and was trying to maintain my friendship with Taylor because she felt like oh my gosh, everyone hates me, and I was always kind of just telling her, I'm like, but she was digging it deeper, and I don't, and I
'Cause
think
I
that
felt
you're
like
right.
you
I don't
were-
think that maybe like she had kind of like experienced this before.
I don't think so.
And you were kind of like in the
No, I think
clear,
she had a
honestly. Like it
boyfriend
was like
throughout
Shep was
college.
like
She went to a small school.
whatever, like he got past it. Like you were always forgiven, kind of on your part,
Right.
Until things just like
Right, which pissed
kept
off
coming
people
out.
in itself. Like,
Right.
why did Shep let him go so easily? And I'm like, guys, I don't know why.
like that's
he did.
up to him,
Yeah,
really.
that's
If
up to
he
him,
would,
and I'm
that's
just,
up to him.
Reacting to this, right? And and I was kind of like that meme, where James Franco has that noose on his neck, and he's like, first time, to
Right.
Taylor, and
well, I think that is also that's also a thing, and this is like a weird comparison, but like there's drama with some of the housewives when the housewives have drama, the ones that they've known for longer, they kind of get off a little easier because they're like, oh well, that's just how she is. Like we've been friends for a long time, and like the newer person gets more of the heat, and I felt like everyone was kind of like, oh, Austen sticking his foot in it again, like, okay. And maybe they didn't expect it from Taylor. Olivia certainly didn't expect it from Taylor.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they held on to it a little bit more.
Well, also,
yeah.
you and I think Austen and Taylor, if they had stopped being friends as soon as it came out and seized any relationship, it probably would have died quicker.
Right.
But because I think it really pissed Olivia off every time she looked over and,
And
even
saw you.
saw
Yeah,
them
yeah,
like
yeah.
It
talking.
did.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's true. And I didn't even grasp that, by the way, Craig. You know, even when the episodes were airing, I would get sweet little texts from Olivia being like, I wish I never met you. And I was like, wait, man, what did I do? And she's like, I just am watching this episode and you and her are so chummy. And I'm like, oh, I like it didn't even.
Well, because it is also like relationships are kind of like magnets in that sense, and Charleston's small enough that it's going to keep like pulling you together because people ask all the time. They're like, I don't understand this, but you're like, you really have to leave town or like.
What do you think of Madison thinking that if you and Taylor would have been together if she hadn't met Shep first?
I mean, God, I got a lot of heat for that at the reunion. And I was like, I was not trying to like insinuate, that if Shep didn't exist, then we'd be together. But Madison definitely did think, and she expressed that to me, that she thinks that, I'm like in love with Taylor. And I'm like, Madison, for someone here that knows me probably better, than anyone here, I was kind of shocked to hear her say that. I was kind of shocked to hear her say that she thought that, Taylor and I loved each other or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, where? So.
It's not a crazy jump to make.
No. Well, right. Well, look, and like that's what happened in the beginning, which is why it was even like an entertained, thing.
Right.
So I was like,
because you get caught up and like maybe this is meant to be. If that's how it seemed like Taylor felt. Like Taylor was like, oh my God, maybe I'm missing what's right in front of me. Like
so,
I think Taylor thought she was gonna have some fairy tale fall in love with her best friend.
And so when she said that to me, I was like, maybe there's something that like I'm missing. Like maybe I should think about it.
Yeah.
And we did and then we didn't.
Yeah. I'm not making faces, by the way. Fran is making faces at me and making
Craig.
me laugh.
All right, good.
But then maybe if you guys really did love each other, then maybe you guys would just say, fuck it, we got to be together.
No, well,
if you really,
absolutely.
if you really felt that pull,
Yeah.
then maybe that is what would have happened.
And
that didn't happen.
And it didn't.
It didn't happen.
I have a question about, Shep and Taylor, and I don't know if you guys don't have to speak for him, but it just came to my mind about BravoCon, and apparently, Taylor said that Shep walked by and smacked her ass while she was with her new boyfriend.
I mean, it could very well be true.
Yeah.
Shep was having a good time in Vegas.
Well, they kind of fleshed it out on the reunion. I'm not sure if it was shown, but there was like a concern that Taylor and her boyfriend had gotten in a fight in Vegas or an argument. And it was like, no, we got in an argument because Shep grabbed my butt like right in front of my boyfriend. And he was
I didn't
like-
think that Shep even knew who her boyfriend was.
Right.
Because that's kind of how Shep operates. He's like, oh, he's here? Yeah. And so he walked up to her and, gave her a hug and
Probably
did
weren't
whatever Taylor said
boundaries.
that he did and wasn't even aware that the guy was there kind of thing.
Right.
But then, and I think,
And I think
that
Shep
boundary
even,
was
Shep
crossed.
even said like, because Andy was like, did you? And he was like, I don't know. Like he was like, I really don't know, which is obviously very tough.
Yeah, he did the reunion. Some people get confused, and I do like to point this out because I think it's better to know those talks are a lot longer than what you see. We had an 8-hour conversation that day, and the me, Austen, Shep part was at least 45 minutes. We all had things to say to each other, and I was very happy because I've never heard Shep take the first step, and it's why it's the first step, and it's such an important step, is actually admitting to yourself that you have a problem. And to say like, I've got a void and the boys have this and this, like it wasn't just an act to me. And I'm excited because now I can't wait to see what the next chapter is, but the book was pretty much closing. But as soon as someone like asks for help and wants to do better, then you're like, well, heck yeah, let's see what happens. So
Right. Gosh, that talk at the reunion was, and Andy was like right there in it, and like he knew what was going on.
because he's
and
kind of been involved with the boys.
Yeah, he knew, and he was read in on everything, and so it was a conversation basically between the four of us, and I was just
Did you guys feel like, because Craig, you kind of alluded to it, like I'm kind of off this I got to get off this train. Like it's going to be, I can't keep going like this. Like
and so Craig
for
is
yourself.
good at that. And Craig is good at that, but I have never been in the past.
Yeah.
Until just, Shep called us and was like, hey, like, I want to take you guys to lunch. And for the first time ever, I was like, I can't do it, right? The first time ever, I was like, I got to set some sort of boundary here, which Craig has been doing, to me at one point, to Shep for years. And I had never done it. And Shep was like, not like expecting that, I don't think. And so he was like, you guys weren't there. And I was like, I'm just trying to set up like a healthy boundary here.
Yeah.
Like Austen had a great BravoCon and it got muddied because there wasn't a strict boundary between him and Shep. And so like Lala went on a podcast and was like, the Southern Charm boys were a mess. But then she was like, well, Craig wasn't actually. But the boys were, but that's
Craig.
because I had separated myself strong enough.
Yeah.
When Austen also wasn't a mess
Right.
at the event, but
Right.
he was trying to help Shep a lot, so he was always around.
And then
You just kind of assume, like you see one kind
Absolutely.
of banged up, and you're like,
Guilty
oh,
by
they must have,
association.
must be,
Right.
yeah.
And Andy made it clear though, like he was like Austen was a good friend,
Yeah.
like he was making sure Shep was
That
presentable.
was so sweet, dude, man. When Andy said that,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
crying.
Yeah, I was like,
literally
I was
almost
like,
cried.
wow, that's really nice to
Yeah,
hear.
yeah.
But yeah, this reunion was really, really good. I thought. I thought that it covered a lot. I was kind of shocked at how much was covered just in
Part one.
part one.
Yeah, and it was cool because and to finish the Shep thing off, the reason we had started to really draw that line in the sand is someone with nothing to lose is a very dangerous person.
Yeah.
And we're just really happy to see, like I said, I truly believe that we're all going to go into the next chapter, which is crazy. And I didn't know that talk was going to happen. I didn't think we would ever get there. So like all of our reactions at the reunion were like, I had no idea that was going to happen.
Well, I didn't think that Shep was going to be the one to kind of have
To bring it up, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like
Proactively.
I thought that Craig and I were going to have to be like, all right, man. Well, but like he just
Yeah.
jumped out there, and
I mean,
that's
Andy
what took
really
me aback.
clearly wanted to talk about
Yeah.
it too. Like,
Yeah.
I know he kept
yeah.
on bringing
Yeah.
it up,
Yeah,
and he
and
was
And
like, all
everyone
definitely
right.
can
Talk
root
about
for
it.
somebody wanting to do better for
Right.
themselves. Like, yeah, that's not something
No, we're
you
excited.
root against.
But like some reunions are like bombs are dropped
Yeah.
or like things are exposed. Ours was like basically just hashing out things that were happening.
Right.
Like it was all
I mean-
these
Texting
talks.
Who's
I
texting
mean,
now?
checking
Taylor.
the time, make sure Craig can get to his
Taylor
haircut.
did want. Taylor did kind of obviously. It seemed like wanted that story about Olivia to come out, or for Olivia to have to reveal that she had that hookup with Ravenel at some
And
point.
so let me-
and
let me-
but there was, and I don't know if it was how it was edited or how it was put together, but watching the moment they cut to Taylor, and I said this talking about the episode, they cut to Taylor and she had this smirk that almost felt like gotcha, and it was just, and it's not, I don't think it worked out the way maybe she thought that was going to work out.
No, I can say this too from, doing these, like, sure, there were plenty of things that I wanted to say to people, but I was like, don't say that, Austen, because it's only going to
Right,
have
and-
just like a reverse
Yeah.
reaction. It's like,
And it's
you
a low
think
blow.
that, you're saying some shit, to somebody, and then, it's going to be perceived as like, what a petty bitch
Right.
that
You're
was
gonna
to
throw out-
say.
you're
And
gonna
so
throw-
I
forgive
bit my
like you
tongue
would
on
like
lots of
to be
things.
She's got
Yeah.
whoever her influences
Or whatever it was
in her
that
life
she
right now
said.
are wrong.
Wrong.
Because I went into her green room was across from mine, and I like heard her like sobbing after that, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it." And I was like, "Well, then why did
Why
you
would
say
you
it?"
hint at it?
And in
Yeah.
my head, I'm like, she's got friends in her life that are watching as fans, I believe, and playing this as a game where it's like, oh, you should do this, you
Right.
should do that. And I was like, you got to find yourself again because, the Taylor I met was a really sweet girl, and
Yeah.
I'm sure she's still in there. I think she's
Yeah,
just a little
well,
lost. And I
right.
was
Yeah.
like, you got to just
Just
start
one thing
trusting
after
your gut.
another.
Right.
The Shep stuff clearly really fucked with
Yeah,
her.
And
which
like-
that fucks with. Like I had a talk with her that wasn't aired, where I was like, getting cheated on messes with people more than like it's given credit for.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she was like, yeah, it was a couple times, and like I covered it up to protect like us. And I was like, look, I get that scrambled your head, but you got to start to try to find yourself a little bit.
And we talked about this, but I think like it's just such a low blow if you are friends with somebody and they confide in you and then you turn around the second you're not friends anymore and say, well, remember when you told me this? It's like no matter what, I just think you should have the awareness of if you stop being friends with someone, you don't go and tell their
I could
secrets.
tell Olivia
like you,
that was
you
the
know,
nail in the
publicly
coffin.
like that.
Yeah,
like, that's
I could
crazy.
tell instantly,
I
like
mean,
it
I
switched
actually
for
think
her.
that like Olivia would have been open to like, hey, let's like begin to mend our friendship. But then when that happened, she was like, and poof.
Right, like clearly
It was almost good closure
like
for Olivia.
Yeah.
Like it sucks that their friendship's over, but you could see the relief almost in Olivia's face of being like, I don't even have to think about this anymore.
Right, like you
I'm
just
moving
showed me
on. The
exactly who
closure.
you are right
Yeah.
now, and I don't even have to debate in my head of whether or not we should be friends.
Craig, a lot of the focus for like the past couple shows you've been on have been you and Paige and
Who's Paige?
it's like,
Who's that?
Are you gonna get engaged? Who's moving? Who's not moving? When are you gonna move? Who's not? When do you think that's not gonna become a conversation because I feel like we went through Summer House.
know.
It was like the full discussion. Now Southern Charm, full discussion.
That's what they do, by the way.
And,
It's
and
like,
probably
they just
Summer
wanna
House
know.
again is going to be talked about
Yeah.
again.
Unfortunately, it'll be on Summer House.
Yeah.
Not as heavy because I laughed because I was having a convo with Kyle and I thought the convo was going to be about Kyle because we hadn't filmed in a while. My guard was down.
Yeah.
I was just like all happy-go-lucky.
Kyle gotcha.
Yeah. And like it quickly became about me. And I was like, oh shit. And then like it took me a while to catch up because he was asking me all these questions and I was like, why can't I formulate answers to this? And I was like, oh, this is everything that we just talked about for 3 months on Southern Charm. And I was like, I don't have enough time to catch you up on this. And so I don't know how that initial convo is going to play out, but Paige and I discuss it more during Summer House. And then finally, if we come back for Southern Charm, I have had conversations with people where I was like, this is our situation.
Yeah.
We are a couple that spends half their time in New York, half their time's in Charleston. Let's focus on the positive that it just is what it is. Or not
Like,
focus on
that's
the
just your
positive, just like,
relationship.
yeah. Like,
and
this
that's
isn't
the
interesting
relationship,
anymore.
yeah.
Everyone's bored
It
of these
works.
combos.
Yeah.
Let's think of something new.
Yeah, and I don't know why, like, it's such a huge deal.
I
Because
know.
every time that we, like, people want me to have, like, so much more of, like, an opinion on it, where it's like, oh my God, well, why isn't she moving? Does
Yeah.
that mean that, she doesn't love him?
Like,
and it's like, but
exactly.
they don't have to.
Right.
Like, they have
It's
the
like
means to go back and
interpreted
forth.
as that one of you guys doesn't like each other
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that those translate like
But,
at
like,
all.
that doesn't have to even be talked about until Paige is pregnant, right? And then
Right.
it's like, okay, what are we gonna do here? Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
do you
And
want to do?
that's the thing. Like we've continued to move our relationship further. When she's pregnant, and I recently said that to someone else the other day, and they were like, not even. They were like, not until the kid starts to go to school. You have to figure it out. And I was like,
Okay,
well,
I
that's
think that's
pressing.
crazy.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's-
gonna lie.
Right,
Like I'll
right,
step
right.
in here. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little.
No, I know, but we have a couple. No one knows what the future is, but a couple years before children, and it's just not the old days. Like we have the freedom to travel back and forth. It's 3.5 hours from my door in Mount Pleasant to the apartment door here.
And
Yeah.
let me tell you, seeing someone that does not live like in Charleston and, having, those days where they're not there, I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful to
and
get like
she,
a little bit of a
loves it.
break.
yeah.
But it's also cool to I like having two places. Like I love to be in New York for a week, but it's not, that's usually time for me to go back to, I don't know, the balance between the slow life in Charleston and this.
Well, you're just kind of like living an older person's life at a younger age. Like it's very, you guys don't have kids yet,
Right.
but like there's so many older couples that like have grown children that spend half their time in Charleston, half their time in New York.
Yeah.
They don't have they don't have to worry about their kids because they're all grown adults. So you guys are just you're young. You don't have kids yet. You don't have to be in one place
and
all the
it's
time.
it's job dependent too.
Yeah.
We're who knows what's gonna
Yes.
happen. But Yeah, I know that the
I just feel like
viewers
it's gotta
getting
be frustrating.
bored.
It's gotta be frustrating for you guys because it's like the same question where I feel like Paige keeps getting questioned about how much she likes you, which has got to be annoying.
Yeah, I'm sure for like her and Andy. They didn't air it, but he had a great point. Like Shep was like, I feel like Craig and Paige hide their relationship, and Andy's like, they're on 3 shows.
Yeah.
Every day of the year, they're under the
I know
microscope.
you know what Shep was trying to say,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
I don't think that you thought it through.
Right. It's
Right.
more just
Right.
like you are dating somebody outside of the group of Southern Charm.
Yes.
So therefore,
Yes.
not every single
Yeah.
thing that you
But
guys
yeah,
do
like-
And I
is going to
think
be
Shep
on the
also
show.
is like you guys don't have the same reality show blow up arguments, like fights that they're like used to seeing. Shep like, oh, they don't put all their stuff on the show because you don't see them like yelling at each other.
I was actually wondering. I was like, I wonder if Shep thinks that we just don't get caught.
Right.
That like all couples are kind of like him and Taylor,
Right,
and we
right,
just
right.
don't get caught.
You guys don't
or if
show
he
it.
processes that not all couples
Not all
are
couples
like him
are, you
and
know,
Taylor.
toxic like that.
So then if we're watching the progression of this, obviously in season 10, I mean, Craig, just get ready that everyone's going to be like, when are you proposing? When are you proposing? When are you proposing?
Well, I mean,
When
it's
are you
already
proposing?
like that,
Yeah,
and
it's-
that's
yeah.
like
right.
So I think there's more fun things to focus on, and from the conversations I've had, I think they're ready for it too.
Yeah.
It's like we're not going to hide anything from you, but
Yeah.
when just
Paige-
nothing's
Right,
happening.
you're just and you
Paige-
guys have the same answers. Like the answer
Yeah.
hasn't changed, so keep asking. But
Right.
we're just.
I think
the
that
answer
2024 is
hasn't
a year,
changed.
and this is just as like a bystander,
Yeah.
you know, who's close with them both. I think 24 is the year of engagement.
Yeah,
That
He's
is what I
already
think.
starting the conversation.
I think so, man.
He's like, people ready to ask when you're going to propose. Me.
Here's my answer
Well,
for
our-
you.
our
The thing is, though, is
3-year
that Craig probably won't, tell me because he doesn't think that I can keep it like a secret. Probably, and that's
fair.
gonna make me.
I don't think
very
I'll tell
sad.
you.
It's gonna
Like-
make me very sad.
in my head, I wouldn't be telling anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like in my head, I would fly. Like I would ask her parents very close to the day of it
Yeah.
happening, because as soon as I pick up the ring, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah, yeah.
no like holding that ring.
You don't.
And Paige's brother is gonna text me. So
It's
I'm
like
gonna
you, and I feel like you're
I'll
not
tell
you're
you.
not like a big secret keeper anyway. I
No.
feel like you got to do it all really
Yeah.
close together so that it all.
It's gonna be
happens.
tough. Like when this,
it's gonna be very tough.
it's gonna happen very quickly.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So I think our 3-year anniversary is in September, and I think between 2 and 3 years is a very healthy time to
100%.
make that decision. So
And it's up to you guys. Okay, so we'll wrap up, but because we could talk forever. The season's wrapped up. So looking back at the season, I'm sure you have different feelings about it. But what, if any, things would you guys have changed about the season? Maybe some actions, some regrets, perhaps.
Yeah, there are always regrets, but I suppose that
Some learning. What have you learned?
Yeah, I mean, being forthcoming with your friends is huge and paramount. And I do wish that when I went to Australia, as Shep, that would have been like, hey, dude, I just want to tell you, that this happened. Like, I value you and your friendship. And
Austin, I kind of forgot about the Australia thing. I
Yeah.
brought that up.
Yeah.
Not to, keep
okay,
pounding
this
on
is
it.
closing thoughts.
But
okay,
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I just have to put my own
Now, what have
the
you
fact
learned?
that you went to Australia with Shep and you kept it in the whole time that you kissed his ex-girlfriend is unbelievable.
Well, like I said, that is something that
You learned this season.
Yes.
look,
Yes.
enough.
I just,
And I'm laughing, right? But I know that
Yes.
it's
You know.
I
We can laugh about it,
Yeah.
but you have learned.
Yes, I have learned, and I know that I probably mentioned it a whole bunch of times, but going to therapy was just something huge for me where it shows me how to compartmentalize certain things and how I should deal with this and not trying to please people as much as I do, which only backfires on me. And so moving forward, I intend just to be more intentional with my thoughts and feelings and the things that I have to say to people. So that's what I've learned.
Craig,
Wonderful
do
lesson.
you have any regrets, Golden Boy of Bravo?
no, my goal was to stop getting so drunk. and losing my message in my delivery. And excuse me, I was tested very quickly with the first all cast event was at Madison's when
Remember
Taylor
when I was trying to get him out of there? I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
And fortunately, like, you know, in real time, that went on for a little while and I was just taking it. And then when I decided to react, I was proud of myself because I don't know, in the past I used to be like, get too reactive and my point would get lost in like yelling and stuff. And so I was happy to just be calmer this year and be more in control of my like emotions. And I hope to continue that because it was, you know, one season's great, but continuing that is the goal.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can let yourself slip pretty quickly. So I just don't want to like let my guard down on myself.
Yeah.
And
if you
continue
saw the
that.
way that Craig and I text each other now to when, you know, to how we used to text each other, you know, now it's a very like, you know, subdued and there's like, you know, respect in the texts, even though
nice.
that, even though that
Boys,
there
that's
might be
so
like
nice.
an underlying, you know, even though that there might be like an underlying like,
Piece of shit.
did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
But like our
Yep,
texting
yep,
and things like that,
yep.
it just goes to
We're
show.
just trying to grow up
It
and
just
like,
goes to show growth.
Yeah.
and you know, be a little more thoughtful of like consequences in the future. And like Austen and I, it wasn't shown this season for some reason, but we're opening a bar in Charleston, which we're really excited about. Called
Very
By-
exciting.
Yeah, it's called By the Way. So
Oh, I saw you post about that.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
right in downtown Charleston,
and
and partnered with great people and friends. And
it's the people that own
Is it the Uptown Social
Yeah,
people?
yeah, it's
yeah,
Uptown Social.
amazing.
and so they have downtown
Yeah.
social here.
Yeah,
and
I've heard great things.
down the
And
hatch. So
Uptown,
we're
so
which
I
you guys
had
should maybe come to that. We're doing a little bar crawl on January 28th.
it's championship day.
So, you know, your team won't be there, but
still
Is that January
drinking.
28th, the next
Not
weekend?
drinking.
Oh,
That's
I'm
a
going to be in
Sunday.
the Bahamas.
Nice.
well,
part?
good for you.
What are you do? You're
Just
doing it up
Baja
here
Mar.
in Charleston?
Up here because
Oh,
we're going to bounce around to all their spots, which is
Oh,
like, you know,
fun.
down the hatch.
Yeah.
and-
Yep. I had a fantastic time when I went to Uptown Social, so they have great.
I'm
And
very
they-
excited to
and
go
they
to
took
Charleston
care
for
of
the
you
first
Yeah, they
time.
did.
like the
it
star
was
that
so
you
nice.
Marty
it was
said
so
he's coming
nice.
down
It was for my friend's bachelorette, and
the
you know,
31st.
treat her like
Yeah,
a
he
queen.
is.
are.
Yeah.
Good. And Craig always talks about, man, playing golf with Marty, and I'm like, I get it. You played golf with him, and I didn't. So when is
Well,
that
He
we're
gonna
is
happen?
going to
invited.
Charleston at the end of January. So.
Yeah, him and Dana.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe you'll get invited.
Yeah.
Get him there next time.
But we want to do, we'll have to talk about it. We want to do some sort of, you know, after party after our shows. We
Yeah.
did that the last
Yeah,
round
what's
of
the
shows.
timeline like on the new bar?
Probably July.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say June.
All right,
Optimistic.
okay.
Early summer.
Yeah.
Early
Go
summer.
Get her.
Yeah.
Okay. I
But
love it. I love it.
I should know better
Yes.
to ever say that, and then it's going to be like September.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
we're excited. Maybe we'll try and squeeze in a little extra time, and
Yes.
I would like to squeeze in a little extra time in Charleston.
I'm excited to
Let's
see it
have
for
you
the
guys
first
down
time.
there.
And then
It's such an easy
I
flight
want to
down there.
go
It's
during,
so easy.
actually, Dana and his fiance texted me and Marty the other day being like, can we do a Charleston trip this summer?
Dude,
So,
I fucking love
We
it.
had the best time.
yeah,
love
Dana's
it.
great.
Okay. Thank you guys for
Yeah,
well,
coming
thank
on.
you.
Thank you guys.
And we'll see you in March.
we'll see you guys at the live
Yeah.
show.